Teacher, good evening.
Hello.
Hello, teacher. I have an emergency and I had to go, but I left the session connected to
Okay,
account the time.
perfect. Not a problem. I hope everything goes well.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
No worry.
Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome. Okay, everybody, welcome to the class. We are going to start the class right away. And well, today is Friday, so please remember, for first of all, if you haven't sent the papers for the next level, to send them. Also, that we need to finish the platform this weekend, so it's very important. And also remember that you will be receiving the survey for the INSAFORP part, so we don't need to do that one. We need to do that together, so it's very important that you wait until we finish that next. It's going to be next Tuesday, okay? So let's check here on the platform. Okay, this is the platform and the class of today, and this is the question for today. And well, this is the homework 4.5. Then well, as I was telling you, it's not important if you do only this one, but you need to finish everything by next Monday has to be done. So you have Friday or tonight and Saturday and Sunday for you to finish. So we are going to check about the attendance. Ada Azucena Cáceres Mendoza. Ana Claudia González Velázquez.
Present, teacher.
Good. Dani Josué García Martínez.
Present.
Good. Fernando Marvin González Martínez. Francisco Eduardo Figueroa Mejía. Good. Heidi Eugenia Salguero de Rivas. Ileana Giselle Cañas Escobar.
Present, teacher.
Good. José Marcos Rodríguez Ayala.
Present.
Good. José Osmin Rivas Navas.
Present, teacher.
Good. José Wilfredo Ayala Sorto.
Present, teacher.
Good. Juan Miguel Bran Mejía.
Present, teacher.
Good. María Alejandra Barrientos Romero.
Present, teacher.
Good. Ramón Enrique Mata Escobar. Roberto Luis Umaña Orellana. Roxana Ivette Asensio de Mejía. Sonia Guadalupe Benítez de Claros.
Present, teacher.
Zuleima Ivonne Moreno de Hernández. Perfect. So we are going to check into this one. I got you, Ana and Francisco. Okay. So we are going to, actually, we are going to check something different tonight. So this is about English certifications that we can get. These are like the most common, but anyways, there are some others, some different. For example, if you want to become a someone who translates live to other people, there is a certification for that one. But these ones are for the most common, let's say. Okay, so it says language level summary, and then the Common European Framework reference language CSR device learners into 6 different levels. So these are like the most common levels that we have. The basic one can be A1 or A2. A1 is breakthrough or beginner. A2 is wastage or elementary. B is independent speaker. So B1 is threshold or intermediate. B2 is vantage or upper intermediate. The C is proficient speaker. C1 is effective operational proficiency or advanced. And C2 is mastery or proficiency. Question, which level do you believe you are?
You go forward because I would ask you in what level do you consider that we are actually.
Well, I believe the most of you are going to be in C1, effective operational proficiency or advanced. That will be your level. I know that everybody has different skills. Some of you speak faster, some of you speak with better grammar, some of you read in a different way. So, but let's say that most of you are between B2 and C1 because you speak already. And yes, we need a little bit of more vocabulary and a little more of practice. Remember that that's why it's important for everybody to speak. I mean, here we are here to speak. So sometimes I say, who wants to give an opinion? And nobody, right? So that is the chance that we need to take advantage of, to speak. And the ones who speak, that is good. The ones who don't speak, please try to speak a little bit more, right? And then you need to finish in the C2, mastery or proficiency. That is like very, very high. I mean, you will be able to speak in a normal way. You will be able to understand people from other countries, from different nationalities whenever they speak in English. So this is it. And in my opinion, for almost everybody, you are C1, effective operational proficiency or advanced. That will be it. Okay, so let's read about these things so we can learn about the certifications. Maria Alejandra, could you please read the first 3 paragraphs there?
Okay, teacher. And for each level, there is a description of what the learner must be able to do in terms of reading, listening, speaking, and writing skills. Does description apply to any language? Usually, the expect level for study programs in many countries is B. However, certain academic institutions or programs, example, English literature might require a higher level. Most universities and colleges usually list the
minimum.
English test score on their website or study page. Always check what English test you need to pass and with what score to avoid having problems with your application later on.
Okay, so what did you understand in general about these certifications?
Mm, and the most common or the different universities try to have a different test in a website for the students practice for the different tests or quiz to do because this person needs for a different things or like this. For example, if you need to travel and study in the other country, you need to have a specific level to obtain or you need for that study this type or a signature or that a career or like this.
Very good.
And
Go ahead.
only that.
Okay. Okay, so yes, as you can see, speaking about language, there are 4 skills that are very important to measure: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Those are the most important. Of course, among those is pronunciation, is proficiency, is understanding of reading, vocabulary, grammar, which is very, very important. So everything is included into that one. And the first one that we're going to learn a little bit more is about the Toefl. That is the test of English as a foreign language. That is the meaning of Toefl. Juan Miguel Brand, could you please help us reading about this?
Okay, teacher. Number 1, TOEFL, test of English as a foreign language. TOEFL is a very popular English certificate around the world. In most cases, it is offered as a computer-based test, TOEFL IBT, but there is also a paper-based test offered in only locations without an internet connection. There is also an online version, TOEFL IBT Home Edition, which can be taken from the comfort of your home. TOEFL IBT takes 3 hours to complete and has 4 parts. Each part is graded with up to 30 points, which adds up to a maximum score of 120 points. Reading, listening, speaking, and writing.
Okay, there.
Okay.
So what did you get from this first part of the TOEFL?
Okay, this test, and obviously the certification is about to prove that you are obviously fluency, but not only you are fluent in the speaking, but you you have a very, very good comprehension about the other parts or topics like listening, reading, and writing. I asked for this test once here in El Salvador, and I found that only one institution is certificated to run this test. It is true.
Well, yes, that is true. I mean, as I remember, I don't remember if it's the what is the name?
British, I don't know.
Yeah, the British, I remember also the Centro Cultural also sometimes they have done this one, but they did it. I don't know if they do it right now, but when I was taking it, it was like twice a year only or once a year only. So it was not that common. Yeah.
And obviously it's not as cheap as we could expect. It's about $300 or $400, I think. But I have a question about this test. Okay. You have a time, like the lecture says, 3 hours.
Yep.
And you got a point from each competence, yeah?
Yep.
They certificate not only if you are C2, they certificate the level that you reach.
Exactly. So all the
Okay.
certifications are for you to check what is your level. So I mean, it's not that you need to have certain points so you are going to pass or flunk the test. No, it's like, okay, you take the test and we're going to tell you if you are A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. That is it.
Okay, but it talks about the different ways to take this test without internet connection, but in computers with internet connection, I think with the home edition test, offline in paper-based test. Obviously talking about the 4 different competences in order to get a maximum score up to 120 points.
That is it. Yeah. So there are different things that we need to analyze here. For example, that this is going to be a maximum of 3 hours. And there are 4 parts, of course, the reading, the listening, the speaking, and the writing. And yeah, there are 3 different ways for you to take this test. What the most common by now is the IBT that is going to be online. So you pay for that one, you are assigned a specific time, and then you go to a website. They do like a test of the internet and a microphone and things like that, and then you are able to run the test, do the test. In the speaking part, in the online test, and you will see some videos and you will be able to record your voice, and they are going to be able to evaluate that one. In the writing, in this part, you need to write an essay. As I was telling you, this is part of the things that we are learning right now. So if you, for example, if the topic sentence of the paragraph is not clear, you fail that part. So
okay.
So that is it. And well, by now, that is the most important, but we're going to continue reading about it. So let's see. Sonia, could you please help us reading the last part from during till the very end? Not possible. Okay, let's see. Ana Claudia.
Teacher, I have a question. It is just one chance that you have?
I mean, you can take the test again, but you need to pay again, right?
Yeah. For one payment, it's just one chance.
Yeah, that is it.
Okay.
I guess this is like, well, every time we switch from one account to another, either it's an internal movement. In my job, we always had to do a test over the phone. Someone's talking, I need to answer. It doesn't matter if my answer is wrong, but I need to continue talking. It's the machine. I guess it's something like that, right?
This is like Borsan.
Bersan, that is the name.
Yeah.
Imagine I have too long not doing that.
Okay. Yeah, the difference about this one is that this is a global certification. So for example, if you are going to go and study in other country that English is the basic or the native, you need to take this test.
No, I mean the way that is that you continue talking, and if you fail, you fail. In order to answer to Miguel that if you want to retake it, you need to pay again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need to study from during?
Yeah, please.
Okay, During the entire test, you are interacting with a computer. In the first two parts, you read text and listen to recordings about various topics and answer multiple choice questions about the content afterwards. For the speaking part, your answer are recorded, sent to an online scoring network and evaluated by 3 to 6 examiners.
Yeah, examiner.
Okay. The written part is evaluated by this online scoring network as well. The most common scores required by universities range between 70 or 90. Some universities also require specific minimum score in one of the 4 sections. Prices for TOEFL, IBT vary a lot depending on the country and the test center where you take the exam. For example, it costs $205 in the US and $255 in Germany. The TOEFL certificate is valid for 2 years. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, almost all the certifications are valid for 2 years. So after that one, if you present that certificate is not valid, you need to take it again.
Okay, makes sense because once you don't practice something, it's like a lot of things. You forget a lot of things.
That is so true. So yeah, that's why it's just valid for this amount of time. So it's important for people.
And I guess, I'm sorry to interrupt you, I guess it's because always there are new vocabulary, right? I remember this year, I guess, with, no, I don't know, I remember it was last year, with one of the teachers we had here in these courses. I didn't know that there was a Ms. with a Z, because feminists, they were complaining that if there is a Mr., why that is not defining if he's married or single, why in women there is something that is attaching it or saying that if you are single or married, miss or missing. So new word.
Yeah,
because
that
of the
happened.
movement, right?
Yeah, that's the reason why this is like this. I mean, it's something also that they are updating. I mean, the tests are always changing and changing, so it's not always
Oh,
the same.
really?
Yeah, I mean, if you take one test today and then you pay for another the next time, I mean, you are not going to do exactly the same test. They have different versions of the test, and every 2 years they change them.
But the mechanic, the system, I guess, is the same as speaking part, a reading part.
Yeah, I mean, the 4 parts are going to be evaluated the same way. The difference is going to be the questions itself. I mean, grammar, about the reading, for example, is going to be different readings, things like that.
Okay, got it.
Okay, perfect. So you can see also here that, well, the most common is the one in the computer, so that's why it says that you interact. And then in the speaking part, as I was telling you, your answers are recorded, and there are 3 to 6 people that are actually checking or listening to your records and check if it's correct or not. So it's not only one person. That is good. And also the written part is evaluated, but they have like a machine learning IA software that is going to look for all the paragraphs and the writing that you made and give you the score.
It's so we have like, I'm sorry, we have like in quality, we have something similar. I don't know if because I will try to make it, but I hate that program because I need to repeat or say my, I need to say my answers, but like a robot too, because it's not my microphone, it's not the internet, it's not it's the program itself. And if you don't speak like the robot, it is not writing the same as you are talking. And what happened is that we fail most of the time. It's I don't remember if it's Alba test or something like that. We fail because the machine is not taking exactly what we say. It's taking a different thing.
Yeah, that happens. That happens a lot. So anyways, as I understand also there are some people that they check into this one, but yeah, it's some like that, the one that they have. So, and yeah, I mean, the score, the one that is required by most of universities or universities, the most common that is going to ask for this is from 70 to 90. So 70 is almost half of it. it's not that bad.
Mhm.
90, I mean, they don't require a perfect score, of course. I mean, you
Mm.
even the American people, the ones that have English as a mother language, sometimes
Mhm.
they miss some parts also.
Mhm.
That is true. So
Wow.
whenever we're going to speak about the TOEIC as well, but take in consideration about that one. Whenever you are doing that test, if you don't know one thing, don't stay there that much.
Mhm.
Move on, right? So move on and don't get frustrated. You don't need a perfect score. So that is it.
Mhm. Teacher, and as far as I understand, so these are different parameters, right? Or if, for example, someone that passed with a good standing the TOEFL, it could be in B2, B1, C1, or which classification? They are different, right? Classifications.
Yeah, they're different. Depending on the score that you get, you will be in those levels. So, I mean, that depends on what you need the certification for. As I was telling you,
Mhm.
some companies, some universities, that is the most common, they require a score. So you just need to take care of that score, 70, 80, 90, and that's it. If you
But
have that
let's
level,
say if someone passed the TOEFL with 80, it will be part of the B1 or C1.
well, with 80 is going to be B1 or B2, any of those.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay, got it.
Yeah, something like that. Very good.
Okay.
Okay, and
Teacher, do you know what is the current cost?
for this one here is around $300. Yeah,
Oh, really?
300.
around $300. Yeah,
My
yeah.
God.
I
It's
feel good
so
like this.
But and I have a question. I don't know if I'm asking too early. In our case, it will be the toy will be part of the course, or we will need. Do you know if we pay for that?
well, that is a very good question. To be honest with you, I have never delivered that one. So, but don't worry.
Ah,
Whenever you reach that one, you're going to, they are
I'm
going to
asking
tell
too
you.
early. I know.
Yeah. Yeah, but the TOEIC is not that expensive. It's less expensive than this one,
Ah,
in
okay.
case you need to pay. Actually, we're going to check
Oh.
into that one. And it's different. I mean, in this test, in the TOEFL, you are going to find questions that are going to include, for example, math or things from school, things like that.
Mm,
But in the TOEIC, you
yeah.
are going to find different content. It's going to be more related with business.
Okay.
So that's
Good.
why we are learning. I mean, everything that we're learning, I mean, logistical. I mean, in the TOEIC is maybe it's going to appear an email that is about logistics and warehousing and things like that one. So
Ah, okay.
that's
You
why
as a
we're,
teacher,
Mhm.
you it's a mandatory that you
Yeah, we
take
need
the
to do
test.
this. Yeah, every year or every 2 years we need
So we
to.
must study, Jose Wilfredo.
Oh, no, don't worry. I mean,
That's
what you need to study, to be honest with you, is how is the test. That's what I'm bringing you some videos and some information
Mm,
about how is it. Once you understand what you expect, I mean, if you can't speak English, you just need to worry about listening carefully and get the correct answer and move on. That's it.
but
Don't
just
worry about.
remember 2 days ago in the indirect and direct sentence,
Oh,
we
that's what I
were,
bring some tests sometimes. So you
uh,
practice and you realize
exactly.
sometimes that happens. Sometimes everybody we have things that in English we understand very well and things that we are like, oh my goodness, I don't remember, right?
Mhm.
I remember that I saw it, but I don't remember exactly how it goes. So that's why
Ex-
I bring the test. So you try and identify, right? Good, very
Okay,
interesting.
good.
Let's move on then, and we're gonna check about the next one. Yvonne, is it possible for you to read? Not possible. Jose Rivas? Okay, not possible. Let's see. Fernando is not possible, he said.
why?
Friends. Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay. IELTS, International English Language Testing System. IELTS offers an academic version of their tests designed for academic and professional environments. Like TOEFL, IELTS is one of the most popular English language tests in the world. IELTS it's also accepted as a language proof for certain work permits. As well as for immigration, IELTS Academic has 4 parts: listening, academic reading, academic writing, and speaking. They add up to a test duration of around for 2 hours and 45 minutes. IELTS Academic is available both computer and paper-based. To avoid any confusion, computer-based means you'll take the exam using a computer, not that you can take it from your home.
Okay, there. What did you get from this part?
That is, maybe this is one certification, but no more important than the TOEFL. Is one certification maybe that uh, that give you a one proof that you can speak English, but not like the TOEFL. So I guess that also has less questions because the duration is only for 2 hours and 45 minutes. And even you cannot take them from your home. So is the difference that has with the TOEFL.
Very good. So that is it. Also, this one has listening, but this is specific academic reading and academic writing, and also speaking. The speaking and the listening are like in general, just for English level. But the other one, I mean, that is going to be very specific. And this is very, very common. This test, this certification is something that universities take whenever you had a scholarship. This is the one that they are going to ask. Or if you are going to go a master degree in other country, this definitely is going to be something that they want you to do. And yes, as you say, the TOEFL is possible just to pay and do it at home. I mean, do it there in the computer. But this one, I mean, there is a version of the computer, but you need to go to the actual
And
center so you can take the test.
yeah, and also I guess that the cost will be different.
Yeah, I guess the pricing is around here as well. So let me just check. So the last part is going to be for Roberto. We never listen to Roberto, right? So let's see. Francisco. Not possible. Giselle. Not possible either. Sonia, is it possible for you? Okay, Danny.
Okay.
Good.
From what paragraph?
In either situation.
Okay. In either situation, you'll need to register and take the exam at an official test center. For both versions, the speaking part is face-to-face with a certified examiner. From early 2002, students, sorry, for early 2022, students will also be able to register for IELTS online, a variant of EILTS academic that follows the same format and can be taken from anywhere in the world, as long as you have the internet connection and meet the minimum requirements. IELTS test results use an 0-9 grading scale. To be admitted for English taught programs commonly require a score range between 5.5 and 6.5. Like TOEFL, IELTS prices vary from one country to another. For example, IELTS academic costs between $215 or $240, in the United States, between 331 and 337 US dollars in Norway.
Okay. So what did you get from this?
Well, the paragraphs say about the two ways of take the exams, and and then says that in this year the students were be able to register online. That it was a variant of the academic. Then with this, you can take the exam for everywhere in where you stay, right? Just like the TOEFL. And then it say the scores that you need to have to pass the exam and the cost.
Okay, very good. So this is like the information for this one. I mean, it says that if you take the academy, you need to be face to face with a certified examiner. So it's not possible for you to do it alone. But also you can register for the IELTS online. That is a variant of ELTS academic that follows the same format. It can be taken from anywhere in the world. Okay, there are some requirements, but of course it's possible. And the scale scoring here is different. It's going to be 0 to 9 grading scale. And the one that is required by some of the universities, because this is most likely for a university, is going to be from 5.5 to 6.5. Okay, pricings vary as well, and the certification is also for 2 years. So that is a good thing. Let's learn a little bit more about the other one, PTA Academic Person English Language Test. Okay, Roxanne, could you please help me with this part?
Okay, let me see. PTE Academic Person English Language Test. The PTE academic test has grown a lot in terms of popularity. Correct? Say?
Popularity.
Popularity. Thank you. An increased number of universities accepted has relevant proof of English knowledge from aspiring international students.
Aspiring.
Unlike, sorry?
Aspiring international students.
Aspiring international students. Unlike 12 IBT, IELTS, right?
IELTS.
IELTS. Okay. Let me see. I start. Unlike 12
TOEFL.
TOEFL. 12 or TOEFL?
TOEFL.
TOEFL, okay. Unlike TOEFL, ABT, IELTS, academic, and the Cambridge exams, which have 4 parts. The PTE test is divided into 3 sections: speaking and writing, reading, and listening. Starting from November
16th.
16th, right?
16th.
16th.
Okay.
2021. The PTE academic takes 2 hours to complete. It used to take 3 hours before. and also available as PTE Academic Online, allowing it students from anywhere in the world to pass the test from the comfort of their home. Grades range between 10, 19, 90, sorry. Use a global scale of English. Most universities and colleges have minimum score of 50, 16.
60,
In
yeah.
60. In terms of pricing, we encounter a similar history. They vary depending on the country where you take some. For example, PTE academic cost $200 in USA and 246 in Australia. The PTE certificate is valid for 2 years.
Okay. So what did you get from this?
Well, this type of test is more, usually more taken for students,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
And the cost is cheaper than the others. And I imagine that maybe the difficult is less than the others.
Well, it has some things. Yeah, I believe that the most difficult is the academic and writing, the previous one, the IELTS. So that is the most difficult from this one. So that we have checked. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this has 3 sections only: speaking and writing, reading and listening. And it takes 2 hours. So of course, it's not going to be that complicated. And as you see, the most of the certification that we're checking are for universities because they are the ones who require this. This is a must. If you want to study and you come from another country, you need to take one of these tests. Some universities, they tell you you have options. You can take this or this. And some universities, they say you'd have to take this. This is the only option. So that depends. But the most of the universities, they provide you like options. For example, the one of the most common is the IELTS, and the other one is the Toefl. Those are very, very common. And well, the scores here are kind of different. It's from 10 to 90. And the required score by some universities is going to be from 50 to 60. So as you can see in most of the certifications is going to be around half, right? It's around half of the points that you need to take, and it's going to be like the requirement, at least for universities. Anyways, if you want to measure your English level, it's a good idea for you to study and check what else you can do in 2 years, right? So you can move on.
Teacher, and I'm sorry, this person is the one for the platform, the famous one, because I remember in my job, there was a time, long time ago, they've been trying to improve make people to study online English in some courses. And I remember the person, and
Pearson,
also is the same one, the person, the platform.
yeah, Pearson is one of the biggest companies in the world that dedicates to make, elaborate, create English resources like books, like programs, entire programs. So that's why they right now they have launched their own test. That is a certification, right? That is a global accepted.
Okay. Also, I see below that is coming the Cambridge. I remember, well, a long time ago, when I was looking to study English, there was there was a place with that name, and we used to have the books for the Cambridge University. I don't know if it's that one.
Yeah, it's going to be very similar to Pearson. Cambridge is one of the highest, the biggest creators of English resources for the world. Maybe the difference is that Cambridge, of course, that is British English, right? So it's going to
Yes, because most of the teachers, they were from UK.
exactly. So that would be it. Very good. Nice. So let's check into Cambridge. So it says Cambridge English qualifications. Marcus.
Okay, Cambridge English Language Assessment, formerly the University of Cambridge ESOL examination. It's a non-profit organization offering English language certificate for different language levels. They offer many types of exams, but the most popular ones are B2 First. B2 First, formerly known as FCE First Certificate in English, is about the same level as the common score for the Toefl tests B2, B1, B2, and IELTS 5.5, 6.5. It takes around 3 hours and 0 minutes to complete. Continue.
Yeah, only the next one, please.
C1 Advanced. C1 Advanced, formerly known as CIE Certificate. Certificate in Advanced English is oriented at the high C1, C2 level, comparable to IELTS 5, 6.5, 8, and is assessed by many British universities and over 9,000 educational institutions and business worldwide. It takes around 4 hours to complete.
Okay, there. What did you get from this?
Okay, I get that is Cambridge University offers some they offer like non-profit it's a non-profit organization. I think. They don't gain something out of this of, giving this certificate for the people. So it's a good option. They offer two types of exams in order to, I think, don't make people pay for this certification. I don't know if I am correct. Or if they are not profit organization, I think it will be for free. But they have these two exams: B2 first and C1 advanced. And B2 first is like the TOEFL. They measure the same level as the common score for the TOEFL and take 2 hours. And C1 advanced is like a level, one level more than the previous. Like it's not that common. It's most oriented to the business environment. So it takes 4 hours to complete. It takes more time.
Okay, very good. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, just that.
Okay, very good. So yeah, this is Cambridge and this is British. This is one of the biggest difference, right? So, for example, if you are in a test and you write, for example, color and not color, it's going to be incorrect. So things like that are going to be totally different. So this is more for European people. This is more for people that wants to study there in countries in Europe. And there are different kinds of level English. So the first one is going to be the B2 first, that is going to be like intermediate. So for example, you say, oh, I have intermediate, or if there is a university or a course that you want to take in a country and they say you need to be at least intermediate. You need to take the B2 first certification from Cambridge and at least get Well, if you pass that one, I mean, if you get the points, it's going to be similar to the B1, B2 from the TOEFL or IELTS 5.5 to 6.5. The test for that one is 3 hours and 30 minutes, so it's kind of long. For the advanced, I mean, again, this is when they say you need to have an advanced level in English, then you have to take this test, and then you need to come and take it. It's going to be kind of the same thing, and it's going to be around 4 hours to complete. Remember, this is for British English. We are going to continue. Sonia, is your microphone? Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have a question.
Go ahead.
That type of test evaluate the formal English, right?
That is correct.
Only formal English.
When you say formal, what do you mean?
Without idioms
Without
or
slangs, yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no slangs. This is not, it's not going to include any kind of slang. It's going to be like English proficiency and things like that. So it's going to be like reading a book of English, right? So you are not going to find any slang.
Okay, thank you.
Good, perfect. Sonia?
Okay. ¿Me escuchan?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We can hear
Okay,
you.
okay. Formerly known as CP, Certification of Proficiency in English, is the most advanced exam ranking at the C2 level, which is well above the maximum scale of the TOEFL. Test is good. TOEFL. TOEFL. A test and similar to an 8.5 and above in the IELTS. Is correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Test. It takes around 4 hours to complete.
Okay.
All 3 English exams, B2 first, C1 advanced, C2 proficiency are divided into 4 parts. Reading and user of English. Reading, listening, writing, listening, speaking.
Okay.
Cambridge certificates are mainly used in the United Kingdom, but they are also accepted by numerous universities and colleges. Colleges. Worldwide. Still, they are not as popular as TOEFL and IELTS. Unlike other certificates, Cambridge qualification do not have an expiry date. However, universities and other organization can choose if they accept results older than 2-3 years. If you can prove you being practices or using English in the years after passing your Cambridge exam, you might be on the safe side. but if you pass it in examination 5 years ago,
Go
and and then only use English occasionally, you should not expect any institution to accept your certificate.
Very well. So this is it. I mean, this is going to be like the one. What did you understand on this one?
Vamos a ver. I think the certification is by university and can by living in the other country. And also during 2 or 3 years, different certification anteriores.
Before?
Before. That list that or como other certification, for example, Toefl, Cambridge. Exactly. This certification I consider is different others.
Okay. Very well. So this is it. And yeah, there is another one that is the C2 proficiency. So this is going to be, I mean, very, very advanced, right? So it's going to be like on the top. And all the 3 exams are going to have reading and use of English, writing, listening, and speaking. So that will be it. And one thing that is very good about this one is that they don't expire. I mean, the other ones you remember that is like 2 years. This one, they don't expire, but some institution, they might require you to have something that is recent. I mean, recently 2, 3 years. Other than that, may not accept it. You need to retake it. There is a price for this one, but you need to speak with the Cambridge University so they can tell you what will be the price depending on which one do you want to make, and if there is a center. As I understand here, only the British Academy, they can offer this one, but I don't know exactly how much it's going to be. But the prices might be around the ones that we have about for the other ones. There are other English language certificates like ISSS, Duolingo English Test, Test of English of International Communication, which is the TOEIC, which is the one that we are going to evaluate after we check the attendance. Business English Certificate, there's the BEC, Integrated Skills English exams. So there are actually a lot of others. I mean, if you want to become, for example, someone's telling you a person that translates, a translator certified around the world, you can take a certification for that one, and then you can become a translator in embassies or anything like that. So tourism.
I don't know if this is a good business, teacher, but it sounds like kind of business for all the academies and institutions, etc. And like they made a kind of arrangement with companies, you know, your employees, they must be at this level, they must be certificated by this, and this. I don't know. It's because we're talking about the CSR all this day.
Yeah, actually, it's true. I mean, this is something that is, I mean, it's a business. You need to pay for that one, but remember that not any, I mean, if you ask Inglés Corporativo to evaluate your English, we can do it, but it's not a certification that is valid around the world. So that is the difference.
No, what I see is a business because all of them, they have an expiration date, unless the Cambridge, but institutions, they do not trust it is longer than 2 years.
That is true. So yeah, that is part of, I mean, if you take a test and you pass it with certain amount of points, probably somebody said, no, okay, you speak English. If you bring your certificate and we have the interview in English, I don't see why you have to take the test again, right? But you are right. So that is the business, right? It's like, oh, this was 3 years ago. You need to take it again. So
Come on.
yeah,
It's like when the doctor, if you go to the doctor and they already have the paper for this, this place, I don't know if it's correct to say laboratory.
Laboratory.
Oh, okay. Where you can take these blood tests and But at the end of the month, those companies, the laboratory, they send the money, the compensation, you name it, for all the patients. And when I knew that, I was, oh my God. Whenever they send me to a specific place, I go to another. And when they ask me who sent you, I come by myself.
Okay. Yeah, that is so true. I mean, it's exactly the same. It's like when you say about the doctors. I mean, sometimes you go to the doctor, they examine yourself, they leave you some tests, and then you come back, and then they say, okay, take these pills, do this and this, and I want to see you in 1 month. But that I want to see in 1 month is for you to pay more, right? I mean, they look at you, they ask you, how was everything? And you say, fine, I feel very well. Okay. Order $50 and go home. So
yeah, but I mean, those laboratory also, I learned that with the dentist who is checking on me, my dentist for years. So it's a family friend. So he is the one that, and I saw one day when this guy for the laboratory gave to him the check for all the patients that we were to take. And I was, oh.
That is true.
I didn't know that topic exists.
I mean, medicine, that is a huge business. That is very complex. So, yeah, and yes, definitely, this is a business. Definitely, they do it because, I mean, they just want to help you out, but you need to pay if you want to get help. So, Sonia, you had a question.
Yes. What is the best certification to have?
That depends on what you need that for. So for example, if you are going to study, maybe the IELTS for academic or the Toefl is the best. If you are going to apply for a job, maybe the PTS and the other that is the TOEIC is going to be the best. So depending. So that's why it exists a lot. And for example, imagine that you want to migrate to other country, or if you are going to apply for a job, one of the things that if it's in English and they tell you that you need to be certified, they will tell you, we need this certification. So that will be, that depends on you and your need. What do you need that for?
Okay, thanks, teacher.
It's a pleasure. So let's check the attendance, my friends. Ada Azucena Cáceres Mendoza. Very good, thank you. And Ana Claudia González Velázquez.
Present, teacher.
Good. Dani Josué García Martínez.
Present.
Good. Fernando Marvin González Martínez. Francisco Eduardo Figueroa Mejía. Heidi Eugenia Salguero de Rivas. Ileana Giselle Cañas Escobar.
Present, teacher.
Good. José Marcos Rodríguez Ayala.
Present.
Good. José Osmin Rivas Navas. José Wilfredo Ayala Sorto.
Present, teacher.
Good. Juan Miguel Bran Mejía.
Present, teacher.
Good. María Alejandra Barrientos Romero.
Present, teacher.
Good. Ramón Enrique Mata Escobar. Roberto Luis Umaña Orellana. Roxana Yvette Asensio de Mejía.
Present.
Good. Sonia Guadalupe Benítez de Claros.
Present, teacher.
Good. Zuleima Ivonne Moreno de Hernández. Okay, so let's continue with this. So now we're going to watch a video. This is about TOEIC actually. So Let's see how it goes. Got you, Jose Rivas. Let's see if it works here.
Hi, my name is Rebecca, and in today's lesson, I'm going to give you some basic information about the TOEIC exam. So let's look at some of the questions I've written on the board, and that way you'll have some basic information about this exam. So first of all, what is the TOEIC? The TOEIC stands for Test of English for International Communication. That means that really the TOEIC is an exam that measures business English, your knowledge of business English or English used in the workplace. It's a very popular English proficiency exam. It's taken by about 5 million people every year, and maybe 10,000 companies or so use the results of this exam to help them decide whether to give people a job. So very often they request that students, or rather job applicants, put the results of their exam on their resume so that they can judge what their level of English is. Okay? And that will also help you to understand some of the answers to the other questions that we have. So what does the TOEIC exam measure? The TOEIC measures your ability to read, write, speak, and understand English as it's used in the workplace. So it's basically testing your knowledge of quite basic and fundamental business English. All right? It's not general English. It's not academic English as is tested on the Toefl, for example. It's really about general and business English, or English used in the workplace. Why do people take it? Well, as I mentioned before, people take the TOEIC exam for several reasons. They take it, first of all, to get a job, because many employers do request the results of the TOEIC exam from job applicants. Many people also take this exam in order to get a promotion, for example. And some others take it to get a visa. For example, I believe now in the UK that spouses of people who have applied may submit their TOEIC scores as a way to get a visa. Okay? Where is it popular? Well, originally the TOEIC was most popular in Japan and Korea. Now the popularity of the TOEIC has really spread to other places around the world, including India, where it has taken off quite well as in North America, in South America, really more in South America, and also parts of Europe. So in most places today, you can take this exam. Now, how many kinds are there? Well, when we talk about the TOEIC exam, originally the TOEIC exam was a relatively short 2-hour exam, and it tested only listening and reading skills. All right? So it was quite different from exams like the IELTS or exams like the Toefl, which tested all 4 skills. So when it started in the 70s and until quite recently, it only was a test of listening and reading. However, since then, many employers said that that's not really enough. It's not enough to know about only listening and reading skills. They also wanted to know about speaking and writing skills. So ETS, the organization that created this exam, created a second version, a second section of this exam, which is a separate exam of speaking and writing skills. So today there are 2 exams that are considered part of the TOEIC. One is the original listening and reading exam, and the second one is the speaking and writing exam, which is relatively newer. And they are separate exams. They are not taken at one time. They are taken separately, and sometimes even on separate days. All right? When I come back in a moment, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about each of those exams. Okay, so now let's look at the 2 different exams that are part of the TOEIC. All right? The first, as I mentioned, is the listening and reading exam. And the listening is about 45 minutes long. There are approximately 100 questions or so. It varies depending on which exam you're doing. And the accents might be British, American, Australian, okay, Canadian. It's a mix of accents that you listen to. And the tasks start off easy and they get a little bit harder as you go along. The reading section of the exam is about 75 minutes long, and also you have about 100 questions. But what you have is short reading sections or texts, or it could be an advertisement or a memo or an email or something like that. And after each one, there are approximately 4 or 5 questions, not usually more than that. So it's not like you have a lot of questions about a long text. You have many short texts with a few questions after that. So that's the TOEIC listening and reading exam. It's a paper and pencil exam. It's not an internet-based exam. The TOEIC speaking and writing exam is an internet-based exam. You do it on the internet. And the speaking section of that lasts for about 20 minutes. You don't meet an actual examiner. You are given question prompts and you have to wear a headphone and microphone and you'll record your answer. And that answer is then reviewed and evaluated by TOEIC examiners. Okay, and then you're given a score. So you have 20 minutes and you have about 11 different tasks or questions that you are given. You are graded on your pronunciation, your grammar, your vocabulary, and also the content of your answer. That means, did your answer give the response that was required? Did you talk about what they asked, or did you talk about something else altogether? Did you understand the question? That's what they really want to know. All right, so that's the speaking part of the exam. And after that is the writing part of the exam, which lasts for about 1 hour. You have a number of different tasks there. You have about 7 tasks that you must do in half an hour. And then the last half an hour, you have one more task, which is an essay. So you have to write an essay of about 300 words in half an hour. So altogether, the writing section of the exam, of the TOEIC exam, is 60 minutes. And you're also graded on things like how thorough your answer is, how correctly you write, your grammar, your vocabulary, and of course, the content of what you write. So here I've given you some of the basics of the TOEIC exam. For more information, for a complete free guide, actually, to the TOEIC exam, please visit our website. It's www.goodlucktoeic.com. I'll write it for you. Okay, so www.goodlucktoeic.com. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best with your exam. Bye.
Okay, what did you get on this video about the TOEIC?
In my opinion,
I love that woman teacher.
yeah, it's really good. Well, in my opinion, that we have to visit that website.
That's a good.
No, that's a kidding. Just kidding.
You know, this is like the explanation of the.
You need to be prepared.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need to be prepared for all those kind of certification, because there are a lot of times that you need to pay attention on each exercise or with each model that we say that we are making into that certification. And wow, there are a lot of topic to go over, I guess.
Yeah. Very good, perfect. So any other opinion, any other what you saw there on the TOEIC. What is this about?
It's a organized process, and the important here is, as you mentioned before, we do not have to stop just thinking and continue. Do our best and do not stress, because if we stress, we're going to block our mind. And anyway, we must do it. I think it's most what we are going to win that not trying it.
That
We
is
must
true.
try it. Mhm.
Yeah, you're so right. I mean, it's very important, and that's what I brought this topic today, because we need to, first of all, understand what is it, how is going to be the test, how you are going to be making it, and yeah, you don't need to be stressed. Of course, it's normal to be kind of nervous for the test, but since you know what is this about, you know that, I mean, you don't have to be perfect, and that you just need to listen and pay attention. uh, that will be it. I mean, if you know the test, how it's going to be like, and then you learn your English, you know your English. I mean, not a problem, right? You just do it, concentrate, and that's it.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's read a little bit more about the TOEIC. This is actually the company that created the TOEIC, so it's going to be um, about what is this about. Okay. So it says the TOEIC test of English for international communication is a standardized English test oriented towards professionals and companies. The TOEIC is actually two separate tests, one which tests the receptive English skills, reading and listening, and one which tests the productive English skills, speaking and writing. Students can choose to take both TOEIC tests or just one of the two, depending on their needs. The structure of each of the two tests is unique, and the scoring is also different. There are a variety of TOEIC preparation methods available, from self-study to courses and practice tests. So there are a lot of resources if you want to practice. Actually, I remember that I have a CD from there where there are two tests. I mean, you can actually practice the test before you do it. So that is a good tip. If I am with you at the end of the advance or in the preparation for the TOEIC, I will let you know how you can practice on this one so you are ready. But anyways, we don't know if we are going to be together. That's what I brought the topic today. Okay, and it says there are the parts. I mean, this is like, what is this about, right? So the first parts, of course, are the TOEIC listening and reading. The TOEIC reading and listening tests is the more popular of the two TOEIC tests. It is administered in test centers on paper and gives a score between 10 to 990. English reading skills and English listening skills are weighted equally on this test, with half of the final score coming from each. So probably, as I understand, you will be able to do this part only, the listening and reading. Maybe the problem with the listening is this, that you are going to listen only once. So you need to really pay attention and then go and answer one or up to three questions from the audio that you are going to listen. So if you don't get the answer, don't worry about that one and go for the next, right? So, and yeah, it's going to be played only once. And as you can see here, is from 10 to 990 points. Then we have the TOEIC speaking and writing, which is the other part. So the TOEIC speaking and writing test is taken on a computer. This version of the TOEIC does not involve an examiner. Rather, the student records his spoken answers to recorder or written prompts and types his written answers for the written portion. Again, written and spoken English are equally weighted in this test. The student's final score is between 0 and 400. So there are two things, and if you do the two of those, you receive two certifications, not only one. So two diplomas. And then it says ownership. The TOEIC is a product of ETS, an American nonprofit organization which also makes the Toefl, another standardized English test geared towards a more academic audience. So it's the same.
Non-profit.
Yeah, no, yeah, they want to help you, you know.
My God. Okay, thank you, Toefl.
Okay, and it says TOEIC at a glance. Why take this test? Professional certification. I mean, this is valid around the world. The price is between $125 to $200. I remember that here, well, we need to check about INSAFORP, but I believe that they have a special pricing, so you're not going to pay that much. Okay, the other one says length is 120 minutes for receptive or 80 minutes to productive. Result report is 3 to 15 days. Test location, so you need to go to an authorized test center. Again, this is like, I remember it was, for this one, when I took it, it was in the center. What is the name of this? It's international. It's a very famous center here in San Salvador. I don't remember. Or in INSAFORP, actually. So, and the validity of this one is 2 years. But anyways, we're gonna read a little bit about the structure of the tests because that's why we're here. So in this part, of course, you are gonna help me. Let's see. Ana Claudia, could you please read the introduction?
Of course, of this not profit company. Oh my God.
Maybe we can get a
Okay.
job there.
We're not profit, but we
It's-
only need 125 or
Yeah.
200 to.
Imagine around the world, she said, at that time, 5 millions. No, come on. Well, let's see. Okay, the TOEIC reading comprehension test is the second half of the TOEIC listening and reading test. The TOEIC reading segment is 75 minutes long, longer than the listening test, and it's composed of 100 multiple choice questions, the same number as the listening test. The reading segment has a low score of 5 points and a high score of 495 points. TOEIC reading scores can be mapped to the CEFR level from A1 to C1, but not to level C2, because this is the second half of the test. It is important to stay concentrated. The TOEIC reading test cannot be taken without also taking the TOEIC listening test during the same test session. The TOEIC speaking and writing test is separate and can be taken during the same test session or during a different test session.
Okay, what did you get here?
Well, that I guess it would be important to take both because it's like complement. I know it's valid just with one, but in order to understand or for our own knowledge, I will say that it's important to take both of them. Of course, there is one that is longer than the other, but I remember in the video, the teacher said that the greeting test is when you write an essay.
Yeah, you need to, I mean, there are 8 different questions. The first 7 questions are going to be like write a paragraph, write about this, write something like that, or organize the paragraph. And the last part is to write an essay for 300 words or more.
Okay.
So that's why we're checking everything. You remember that I was telling you about essays, so that is important.
No, and I'm just thinking that is why the platform we work with, it has that kind of organization things when we that we need to create or organize sentences. I was just thinking maybe that is why we've been working with this, I don't know if it's to say way of working in the platform, because we are like, our mind is like setting up to that great day, taking the TOEIC.
Yeah, that is the thing. I mean, if you see the topics that we have checking, all the books and all the courses are focused on that one. It's business, right? It's many kinds, like marketing, like production, like anything. So you check the vocabulary and you understand and get familiar to it. So whenever you take the test, I mean, everything will be fine.
Okay.
Good, perfect. So yeah, it's going to be kind of, it's not difficult, you know. You just need to be nice, sleep very well before, and then move on with that one. So let's check about the test structure. Jose Wilfredo, could you please help us with the first and second paragraph here?
Yes, teacher. The first and second.
Yeah, where it says like the
Okay.
listening test and the other one.
Okay, test structure, like the listen test, the TOEIC reading test is made up to 3 parts. Most students find the second part to be the easiest, but you can complete the 3 parts in any order you choose and allocate your time in any way you wish. Part 1 of the TOEIC reading test asks a student to fill in the blanks in 30 incomplete sentences. The sentences are printed in your test booklet, along with 4 possible ways to complete each sentence. Many TOEIC preparation specialties recommend going quickly through part 1 of the TOEIC reading test to answer those questions, which seem simple to you. Then come back to the ones you skipped to reflect more fully on the answers.
Good. What did you get on this part?
To be honest, teacher, most of the time, some teacher gave this instruction that you have to read all the tests, and after the read of the test, you could feel the part that you that you are sure that you have you have the the right answer, and then you could take a little time with the other maybe questions or with other parts that the exam has.
Okay.
And yeah, that is that is what the paragraph advise you.
Okay, very well. So that is it. I mean, the reading test part is going to have 3 parts. So the first part, you're going to fill in sentences. So they are going to be like the ones that we made. I mean, exactly
And
like
also,
that one. Uh-huh.
in the second paragraph says that you have like multiple choice to choose one. So in that moment, you can think better, or you can remember what is the right question, what is the right answer. So
I
Very good.
guess it's like the previous test we made, Jose Alfredo, that
yeah,
has 4. We got confused a lot.
Yeah, that's what I bring to you, that kind of exercises, so you see. And you know, maybe the main difference is that in the toy you are going to have a booklet and you are going to have an answer sheet where are like little bubbles with option A, B, C, or D, and you just fill which letter is the answer for each number. So it's going to be like
Okay.
that. And yeah, the recommendation is that one. I mean, you can start doing the test. This is this. But when you look for something that is not, I mean, you are confused, leave it in blank, finish everything that you can, and then you can go back so you can then think a little bit more about this one. So is the recommendation. So it's not big deal, but of course, I know that it's important for everybody wants to get something done very well, right? So the next one is going to be for Sonia. Part 2, please.
Vámonos. Of the toy of a top reading this is maybe oops
Made up.
made up of 4 texts in each of which 4 words are missing. For each missing word, you will have 4 choice of words to fill in the blank. This makes a total of
16.
16 questions in part 2. Many students find
Fine.
this part the
Easiest.
of ISSS of the 4 parts of the TOEIC reading test. Part 3?
Oh, no, only that
Oh,
one.
okay, okay.
Okay, what did you get in this one?
Okay. Question. I in the second part, 16, 16 question before ¿cómo se can no of the 4 parts to reading test. And sería before came in the blank unique or no, I don't know answer the ay, no sé cómo decirlo en inglés, perdón. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna help you, don't worry. So,
Okay.
yes, this is going to be, according to, I mean, people around the world, the ISSS part. So you are going to have like a paragraph, a small paragraph, and 4 blanks in the paragraph, and 4 options. So the 4 options you are going to use to put there, right? So to check what will be the first blank option, the second blank option, and things like that. So it's not going to be a big deal. Let's check part 3. Let's see. Maria Alejandra, part 3.
Okay, teacher. Part 3 of the TOEIC reading test has 2 subsections. The first asks students to answer 29 reading comprehension questions. You will read 10 texts and answer 2 to 4 questions about each one. Again, each question has 4 possible answers, of which you must choose 1. Many students find this part difficult because the test can be
Relatively.
relatively long. The ability to read and understand quickly is essential to success in this part of the TOEIC reading test. Remember that you can read the questions and answer first before reading the text in order to look for the answers as you read. In the second subsection, you are given sets of 2 tests to read, followed by 5 questions with refer to both texts. This subsection of the TOEIC reading test is made up of 10 tests, 5 pairs with the 5 questions about each pair, for a total of 25 questions.
Okay, what did you get on this one?
And I understand that in this part of the test, you need have a comprehension when you read a test, but you need a one ability what is understand quickly when you read, because you need to have a disability for you choose the better answer for that 4 options. And then you need have you try to remember that what say in the first text, because in the second part the test between that or use or combine or mix that the first part and the two part, and you have more options for that the answer, and you need to, maybe I think that you don't have the option to read for the second time. You only have that when you read in the first time, and you try to remember that what do you read, and then try to you give the answers when you choose for the different pairs or that the test give. And I think that is complex.
Okay. Well, actually, as you see here, people say that this is the most difficult part of the reading part test. So now, my friends, you know why I like you to read. You see that I tell you read this part and what do you understand? It's because of this. You need to read fast there. Read fast and go and look for the answers. So it's very, very important that. So, uh, yeah, I mean, it's going to be 10 texts, 2 to 4 questions about each of the tests. And so you need to read and go and fill out the answers and again, read the other paragraph, or sometimes there are emails or are orders of, I mean, things like that. So you need to read all of those and then get the answer for that one. So it's very important to read and understand. And then the other part has 5 questions about 2 texts. So you're going to read and then you find the answer for tests. So that is it. Okay, and let's check about a strategy. It says in all parts of the TOEIC reading test, it is essential not to waste time. Blank answers on the TOEIC reading test are counted as incorrect answers. So it is always better to guess, even if you are not sure of the answer. You might be lucky and get the answer right. As with any multiple choice test, if you can eliminate 1 or 2 answers that you are certain are incorrect, you improve your chances of guessing correctly from the remaining answers. So again, this is what we are doing. That's why we're practicing some tests, right? You analyze and then you take sometimes the option that is the correct one, and when you're not sure, you take 1 or 2, right? So is this or this one? So that is a good strategy. And you need to read the questions and fill and get the answer very fast. That is important because in the readings, if you don't have the time, you are not going to answer. You're not going to have the time for this one. So that's why it's very, very important. Okay, so let's check now about the listening part. Roberto is not here, right? Suleima Yvonne, are you here? Ramon Enrique? I'm going to read it, and then Juan Miguel will read the other part. So it says the TOEIC listening and comprehension test is the first half of the TOEIC listening and reading test. The TOEIC listening segment is 45 minutes long and is composed of 100 multiple choice questions. The listening segment has a low score of 5 points and a high score of 495 points. TOEIC listening scores can be mapped to the CEFR levels from A1 to C1, but not to level C2. The TOEIC listening section cannot be taken without also taking the TOEIC reading section during the same test session. The TOEIC speaking and writing test is separate and can be taken during the same test session or during a different test. Perfect. So Juan Miguel, you're going to read this part.
Okay, test structure. The TOEIC listening tests is made up to 4 parts. Most students find the first part easier than the last part. 1 of the TOEIC listening test asks students to match six recorded descriptions descriptions of images to the 6 images they describe. This segment lasts about 10 minutes. The images are printed in your test booklet, but the descriptions are not. They are only recorded. Part 2 of the TOEIC listening test asks students to listen to very short questions or statements and choose an appropriate answer or response for each one. There are 25 recordings and 25 questions in this part. The questions and possible answers are not printed in your test booklet. They are only recorded. Part 3 of the TOEIC listening test asks students to listen 13 dialogues and answer 3 questions about each one for a total of 39 questions. Both the dialogues and the questions about the dialogues are recorded. The questions are also printed in your test booklet, along with the 4 possible answers. You will have about 8 seconds to choose your answer before the next dialogue question is asked. Part 4 of the TOEIC listening test, part 4 of the TOEIC listening test asks students to listen 10 short monologues, single speaker, and answer 3 questions about each one. This is again a total of 30 questions. As in part 3, the questions are both recorded and printed in your test booklet. The monologues are only recorded. The 4 possible answers to each questions are only printed in your test booklet.
Okay, so what did you get on this part?
For me, the part 1 is the easiest one, and the 4th part is maybe the toughest or the hardest one. But obviously, they are trying to measure your level of listening, but how you comprehend, how you comprehend,
Comprehend.
How you comprehend, and how long you take to comprehend one dialogue in order to, in the real life, I mean, don't say people, could you repeat please? Could you repeat please again and again and again? So for the first time, you have to take the idea and be able to, obviously, to listen and understand and comprehend in order for have a better communication, not a better reception, I think, not communication, because you are not in this part, you are not talking with people, you are listening. Okay. The 4 parts are kind of different, each one, but none for me is not less important than the others. I think every one of these 4 parts measure your listening, your knowledge in this related topic, listening.
Okay, very good. So yes, actually this one is difficult because of that, because of what you say. I mean, you are going to listen only once. I mean, it's not possible to say, could you please repeat? No, right? So you listen once, and if you didn't get it, my friend, goodbye, right? So we need to take that in consideration. We need to do some exercises about that. I'll actually have some exercises about that one, and we can make it. So, and well, the first part is going to be 6 description of pictures, and you are going to see the options on the pictures there in each question. It's going to be kind of easy. The second part, 25 recording, 25 questions. So very easy as well. On the third part, it's a little bit more difficult because you are going to listen to conversations. And then there are 3 questions about each of the conversations. So, and you have like 8 seconds for you to think. So 8 seconds, you choose the answers, and then the next recording, right? So that is what it makes it difficult. The same happens on the part 4. It's going to be almost the same. The only difference is that these are monologues, meaning that only one person is speaking. And then you are going to answer 3 questions about each of those. And then, yeah, it's difficult because of that one. I mean, you are listening, and then you have 3 questions, and sometimes the question is, where is he? Or when is the movie, or anything like that. So you need to consider those kind of things. Strategy. In all parts of the TOEIC listening test, the recordings are played only once. Once started, the recording will be played straight through, without pauses or repeats. Because of this imposed rhythm, it is important to listen carefully to each recording. Pick the best answer you can, then move on. Do not get stuck thinking about a previous question and miss the next recording. You will not be allowed to take any notes during the listening test. Blank answers on the TOEIC listening test are counted as incorrect answers. So it is always better to guess when you are not sure of the answers. Recordings of the TOEIC listening test can be with American, British, Canadian, or Australian accents. So just listen, take the answer, and move on. Don't think about that. Let's check the other part. Okay.
I think
Go
I
ahead.
have a question.
Go ahead.
You can cheat the system, okay, in order to win this test, but in the real life is another thing. There is no way that that saves you if you don't understand a situation, or not a situation, an instruction maybe, or a dialogue with another person. So it's kind of I have to say kind of ridiculous that you have a good grade, but in the real life you don't have the competence to understand or to speak or listening, whatever.
Yeah, you are so right. So yeah, I mean, this is like, yeah, it's tough, it's difficult, but if you are able to, I mean, you have time yet. I mean, you need to just continue practicing and check the things that are difficult for you and move on. So if you continue by now, you will have a good grade. Okay, let's read about this one. So it says start writing. Let's listen to Francisco. Are you here?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, only the introduction, the 2 paragraphs, please.
Okay, teacher. The TOEIC writing test is the second half of the TOEIC speaking and writing test. The TOEIC writing test is 1 hour long and is composed of 8 writing prompts. The writing segment has a low score of 0 points and a high score of 200 points. The TOEIC writing test can be taken without also taking the TOEIC speaking test during the same test session. The TOEIC listening and reading test is separate and can be taken during the same text section or during a different test section. Continue, teacher.
Yes, please.
You take the TOEIC writing assessment on a computer, not on paper. You will read the prompts that you must type your answer and transmit to ETS for scoring. Your TOEIC writing score will be based on how precisely and accurately you use writing English to communicate.
Okay, so this is like something that we discussed before, right? So this is like it's separated. You can take it separated, and then it's on the computer. You will read the prompts. You will type the answer the way that you need to take this one. So we're gonna move on. The task structure. Let's see. Giselle, are you here with us? Not possible. Okay, let's check. Danny, could you please help us?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Test structure. The toy greeting test is made up of 3 parts which you must complete in order. Part 1 of the toy greeting test asks students to look at a picture and then write a sentence based on that picture that uses two words and or phrases supplied by the toy test makers. There are 5 pictures, each with 2 words supplied. You have 8 minutes to write all 5 sentences and can move forward and backward through this part of the TOEIC reading section during those 8 minutes. You get a score between 0 and 3 on each sentence based on grammatical accuracy and usage of the supplied words. This is question 1 to 5. Part 2 of the TOEIC written test gives a student an email and they must write a response. There are 2 tasks of this type and you will have 10 minutes for each one. The instruction will ask you your response meet certain I think criteria. For example, it might tell you, do you ask at least 2 questions? It is important to read and follow those instructions. You cannot go back to the first reading task once you have moved on the second one. Your scores will be on a scale of 0 to 4 for each question and will be based not only on the quality of your English reading, but also on the organization of the message. This is question 5 and 7. Part 3 of the TOEIC reading test will ask you to write an opinion essay on a supplied topic. The topic does not require any specialized knowledge. You have 3 minutes to prepare, write, and revise your essay. Your score on the essay is on a scale of 0 to 5 based on the clarity of your argument, your English grammar and vocabulary, and the structure of your essay. This is question 8.
Very good. So as you can see here, actually it's very clear, right? So in the first part,
Yeah.
you will look at a picture and write a sentence, but you will use 2 words supplied by the exam. On the other one, you will need to write responses for emails, and then the essay, that is the one that is the largest, okay? So the essay, of course, is the most difficult here, definitely, because not only of the grammar and vocabulary, but also because of the structure. You remember that we're talking about the topic sentence and things like that one. So that is very, very important. And strategy says if you do not answer one of the questions on the TOEIC writing section, or if your answer on your own language, it is counted as 0. So it is always better to write something in English, even if you are not sure of the paper or the answer on your answer may not be incomplete. You might still manage to get a point or 2. Remember that you will need to be able to type your answers in English on the TOEIC writing test. So learning to type quickly on a QWERTY keyboard is important to avoid wasting time. So that is a good tip. You need to practice how to type very fast, right? And let's check the last one. Speaking. Jose Wilfredo, could you please help me with the introduction?
Sure, teacher. Um, the TOEIC speaking test is the first half of the TOEIC speaking and writing test. The TOEIC speaking test is 20 minutes long and is composed of 11 speaking prompts. The speaking segment has a long score of 0 points and high score of 200 points. The TOEIC speaking test can be taken with or without the TOEIC writing test during the same test session. The TOEIC listening and reading test is separate and can be taken during the same test session, during a different test session, or not at all. You take the TOEIC speaking assessment on a computer, not with a person. You will read or hear the prompts, then you must record your answer. Your recordings are saved and transmitted for scoring by ETS. Your TOEIC speaking score will be based on how well you demonstrate English fluency and accuracy in response to the prompts.
Very well. What do you get on this one?
Well, that you need to be fluent and also you have to give a really good answer because they review your answer and you can get at least 0 as a score, or even you could get a 200 if you are if you make all your answer correct.
Very good. So that is it, right? So yeah, you need to be fluent. You need to be secure on what you are going to say and answer exactly what the question is asking you to answer. Let's check about the structure on this part. Marcus.
The structure, okay. The TOEIC speaking test is made up of 6 question types in a fixed order. You are required to do the speaking test in order from 1 to 6, and you can stop the test or return to question once you have finished it. Continue.
Yes, please.
Part 1, the TOEIC speaking test asks a student to read 2 texts. You will see each text reading, and you must read aloud. You have 45 seconds to prepare and then 45 seconds to read each text. You get a score between 0 and 3 in each text, and you read based on your pronunciation, intonation, and stress. This is questions 1 and 2. Part 2 of the TOEIC speaking test shows you a picture which you must describe aloud. You have 30 seconds to prepare and then 45 seconds to describe the picture in detail. You will receive a score between 0 and 3 for this speaking task based on your pronunciation, intonation, and stress, but also your English grammar and vocabulary. This is question 3. Continue.
Yes, please.
Part 3 of the TOEIC speaking test asks a student to answer 3 questions of an everyday nature. For example, is there somewhere you go regularly on holiday? You have 15 seconds for each of the first 2 questions and 30 seconds for the third question. You don't know have any preparation time. The score on each of your answer is again on a scale of 0 to 3. This is the question 4, 5, and 6. Continue.
Yes, please.
Part 4 of the TOEIC speaking test is similar to the part 3, except that in the part 4, the student is given some background information and must answer 3 questions about it. For example, you might see a poster for an event and be asked when the event takes place or will be speaking. The background information stays visible while you are answering the question. You will have 30 seconds to read the background information, then 15 seconds each to answer the first question and 30 seconds to answer the final question. Your score on each question is on a scale of 0 to 3. This is question 7, 8, and 9. Okay, part 5 of the TOEIC speaking test asks you to listen to a record message to explain a problem, and then propose a solution to the problem. After the recording that tells you the problem ends, you have 30 seconds to prepare your answer, and then 16 seconds to 60 seconds to speak and explain your solution. It's important that you make it clear that you have fully understood the problem as you are proposing your solution. Your score on this speaking section is on a scale of 0 to 5. This is the question 10. Part of TOEIC speaking test asks you to listen to a short recording about a familiar topic and then express your opinion about that topic. You have 15 seconds to prepare your response and 50 seconds, 60 seconds to speak. Your score and speaking prompt is also on a scale of 0 to 5. This is question 11.
Very good, perfect. So that is it. So you see the speaking is kind of, it's not difficult. You just need to understand and have a good pronunciation, provide the solution, and that's it. In my opinion, the most difficult part is the essay because you need to write at least 300 words and they provide you with the topic. So that might be the most difficult part. But other than that, if you practice and you are ready for the test, everything will be fine. The strategy here it says if you do not answer one of the questions of the TOEIC speaking section or if your answer in your own language, it is counted as 0. So it is always better to say something in English, even if you are not sure of the answer or your answer may be incomplete. You might still manage to get a point or two. Remember to speak as calmly and clearly as you can and to answer each question completely. The person who will grade your TOEIC speaking test is not in the room with you, so gesture and facial expression can help to explain your meaning. So that is the TOEIC, my friends. Today it was about this one, about certifications and what the TOEIC is. So do you have any questions before we finish? Okay.
Just a comment.
Can you
I don't know. Juan Miguel first and then Danny.
No, for me, it's important. I think for all of us, it's important to know about the different certifications because I just knew the TOEFL and the TOEIC because you told me the last week, but I didn't know that TOEIC it's about business. TOEFL it's about
Okay.
what Jose? Sorry.
Academic.
Yeah, academic, and the others like the IELS. It's about to academic comprehension of the language. Yeah. And the Pearson test, it's obviously it's another kind of test, but at the end you have to choose what is what do you require in order to present maybe your application. And obviously sometimes they ask you for hey, have you a certificate? No, so you are dismissed. So in order to avoid this situation, I think at the end, at least of this course, could be a good practice, I think, to take one of these. Obviously, if we are interested in develop activities in maybe in one sector, yeah, like TOEIC for the business and TOEFL foreign language and to travel abroad and develop your career or your life in another country or something like this, okay? But it's interesting to know what are the differences between them because for me, until the last week, only exists the Toefl. Okay, just that.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, there are many things, I mean, depending on what you want to do, and you are right. I mean, if you go to an interview and you present a certification, I mean, that is something very important, right? So it's a very good thing that we have something like that. Danny, you were going to say something.
I just want to ask you to could you please send us the links that we were reviewing today
Okay.
about the TOEIC.
Definitely, I can send you those.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, my friends, so we are going to check the attendance and then go to bed. Let me just check. Ada Azucena Cáceres Mendoza. Ana Claudia González Velázquez.
Present, teacher.
Good. Dani Josué García Martínez.
Present.
Good. Fernando Marvin González Martínez. Francisco Eduardo Figueroa Mejía.
Present, teacher.
Good. Heidi Eugenia Salguero de Rivas. Iliana Giselle Cañas Escobar.
Present, teacher.
Good. José Marcos Rodríguez Ayala.
Present.
Good. José Osmin Rivas Navas.
Present.
Good. José Wilfredo Ayala Sorto.
Present, teacher.
Good. Juan Miguel Bran Mejía.
Present, teacher.
Good. María Alejandra Barrientos Romero.
Present.
Good. Ramón Enrique Mata Escobar. Roberto Luis Umaña Orellana. Roxana Yvette Asensio de Mejía.
Present.
Good. Sonia Guadalupe Benítez de Claros.
Present, teacher.
Good. Zulema Ivonne Moreno de Hernández. Okay, my friends, it was a pleasure to be with you. Please remember to send the papers if you haven't for the next level. Also remember that we need to finish the platform this weekend. And also remember that if you receive the INSAFORP survey, you are not going to do it because we have to make it on Tuesday. That is the final day of the class and this module. So it was a pleasure. Have a good weekend and Dreaming English. See you on Monday.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night.
Good
Have a good weekend.
Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
night.